It's a shame that we have to talk about this topic. There's enough on the planet for everyone's needs, but not for everyone's greed. We have enough food to feed everybody on the planet. It's just a matter of priorities and who's getting the food. Close to 1 billion people, 1/8 of the world's population, still live in hunger. Each year, 2 million children die through malnutrition. It's not getting any better with the cuts that are happening from this administration. Boo! So it's a big problem in the United States as well. So food insecurity is when people don't have enough to eat or they don't know where their next meal is coming from. And unfortunately, it exists in every county and every congressional district in the U.S. And of course, we know that it happens here. I was surprised when a school counselor told me how much she has to stuff kids' backpacks at school because she knows which kids aren't having enough food at home. When my daughter went to college, she said there's a food pantry on the campus. I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. So there's a lot of college kids that are not getting enough food to eat as well. You guys probably are aware that there's 3 major programs we have in Bethel to help with food insecurity. We have our Bethel Community Food Pantry that's run out of the United Methodist Church by Susan Popple. She couldn't be with us today. Walnut Hill Church Community Pantry, which is on the other side of town. And we have Brotherhood in Action. And Brotherhood in Action, you might be familiar with. They're not really a food pantry. They do deliveries. Some of you have probably helped deliver food boxes 4 times a year. So the Bethel Food Pantry sees about 85 families for each distribution. Walnut Hill actually has 2 centers, Bethel and Danbury, and they do about 1,550 families. They're not all Bethel families. People can come from other places. And Brotherhood delivers Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and summer. The summer distribution is coming up, June 21st. They need drivers. So if you've never done it before, you show up at 9 o'clock with your car, you just drive down the driveway by the Methodist Church, and they load you up, and you deliver the goods. What's very interesting is one of our team members that you might know, Sue Westerberg, who's working Pride today, so couldn't be with us. She always has stories to tell us. She was with Abby Hoffman. She was tear gassed with this person. She's got all these stories. Well, it turns out her father started Brotherhood in Action. So her father is Abe Mitchell, and if you know Mitchell Ball Field over by Big Y, it's named after him. And he had a grocery store, and he would just feed everybody in Bethel who didn't have enough money. But then he was also part of the Knights of Columbus, and he had some friends in the Masons, Lacey Lake and Don Vanderwater, and then also B'nai B'rith, but I couldn't find which name of the people. And they pulled together and started Brotherhood in Action, I think prior to 1980. And Brotherhood delivers between 170 and 185 families each time. They're expecting 200 now in the summer, so it's going up. So in the June delivery. So there's 242 families in Bethel, because this goes through Megan, our social worker in town, that registers people for the pantry and Brotherhood. And she told us that the need for food is growing weekly. So it might be a very busy summer. I spoke to the president of Brotherhood in Action, Leo Gallagher. He couldn't be here today either. They do need dry food donations, and they buy the fresh produce. But he said to me, what's even better is financial donations you can do from their website, because they get really good super deals. So we can buy a can of tuna for $2, and he can get 5 cans of tuna, because they give him deals. So if you want to do money, that he appreciates that. But they do need delivery help June 21st. Okay. So we brought an expert in this field to talk today. Her name is Linda Hutchings. Thank you for coming out in the rain. She is the food sourcing manager for Community Food Rescue. Yay! And Carrie works there, so you got another one you can ask questions to. So it's a nonprofit in Danbury that works to eliminate hunger in the greater Danbury area, and she'll talk to you how they help the Bethel food pantries as well. She plays a crucial role in connecting food pantries with food sources and managing food drives. She's been instrumental in rescuing food from local stores and partnering with local companies to provide food to those in need. So thank you for coming out, Linda.
Rain stopped. So I started Community Food Rescue during COVID, and the Connecticut Food Bank, which is where I was working, had a van that rescued food for all the agencies in Danbury. And they also had a driver, Carrie Colombo. And during COVID, the COO pulled the van back to Wallingford and fired Carrie, who I had hired, the van, which I had gotten through a grant. So needless to say, I left the food bank. We were able to get a donation of a 6-pallet truck, and that's how Community Food Rescue started. In 2024, we rescued, Carrie and 3 other drivers rescued 1.5 million pounds of food out of supermarkets, club stores. We go everywhere. You know, I beg. And that was my background, procurement, so it's a perfect job for me. Of that 1.5 million, we do make deliveries twice a month. The first and the third week of the month, it goes to Bethel for their food pantry. And then the second and fourth, we deliver pallets of produce to Walnut Hill. So every day of the week you have, or every week you have the month, you have food here in Bethel that you can get. If you can't get to those pantries, I'm in Danbury, Community Food Rescue at gmail.com. I'll make home deliveries. If you have a neighbor who needs food, nobody should go without food. So Community Food Rescue at Gmail, email me and we'll get food to that person. All right, and we'll do it privately so it's not out in the open. But I have food. I'm very blessed that, and as Bethel as a community is very blessed, we do have backers that support us. So Feeding America just came out. I need to look at my cheat sheets. They just came out with a study that is so frightening. And that's in addition to what's happening in our federal government. But since the 2020 COVID pandemic, food insecurity in Connecticut has increased 40%. That's so disturbing. Food insecurity has increased by 35. There was a 52% increase in food insecure households that are above the SNAP guidelines, which is poverty. I mean, that people are living paycheck to paycheck, and the grocery shortfall can be up to 70%. Our clients are having to pay for food or pay for electricity or gas or oil, and that's unfair. As we said, Cindy said earlier, there is plenty of food in this state, and in this country there's plenty of food. So Danbury, for instance, has 1 in 7 individuals overall are food insecure. In Connecticut, it's over 500,000 people who need food. 1 in 6 children and 1 in 12 seniors, which is a horrible number, I just received another gift. I'm very blessed. I have a mobile food truck, and it came in March, and we are visiting 11 low-income senior houses right now, going out multiple times, because a senior who has worked their whole life, they shouldn't be living without food. So we're now delivering fresh produce, proteins, and dairy to 11 low-income senior houses.
Thank you.
Let's talk about what's happening in our lovely government right now. Connecticut Food Share lost 34 TFAP loads, and that's the Federal Emergency Food System. A lot of my protein comes from those TFAP loads. We've always paid, and this started in the early 80s, we pay farmers to grow for this TFAP program. So in addition to destroying our families not getting this food, we're also, the livelihood of our farmers nationwide is suffering. And it's shocking to me that those are the people that voted for our president, and he's taking their farm food and letting it rot somewhere. We had a local food purchase assistance program, and a lot of that was local farmers. 100% of that federal funding was cut. We will not be able to partner with local farmers. We were also made cuts to our local funds for schools. Schools should be food for all. Those kids need food to learn.
Right.
And then between the USDA, the staffing that was cut from that program that was protecting us who is eating meat and eggs and things like that, not to have that kind of staff. AmeriCorps, I had an AmeriCorps volunteer. To lose AmeriCorps volunteers is insane. And then there's going to continue to be ongoing budget. The Medicaid and the SNAP are the scariest items right now. SNAP is the foundation which we need to get people from poverty up. And to have any kind of cuts to that program is wrong. And I'm here to say that I will get food to anyone who needs food. Call me, email me, communityfoodrescue@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you.